Thank you, and welcome to our audience. So today we're going to be talking about HR Metrics 2017 issues. And as we are now almost at the end of the first quarter of 2017, HR Metrics has become increasingly important in many companies, many organizations. And one of the things we're finding is that senior management, the CFO, the CEO, are increasingly looking to HR and the performance of HR metrics to enhance their activity. It's becoming increasingly more important. So that's sort of where we're starting. We'll be spending time looking at strategic and operational issues and hoping identifying for you things you can look at as you develop and plan and use HR metrics. So with that, let's get started. Just a comment that we'll have a question and answer series at the end. So if you have any questions on HR metrics or anything you want to talk about, please feel free to hold the questions and then we'll discuss them at the end. So let's start off with a scenario. As you're going to work, perhaps if you're the HR professional or you work in that area, you're planning to address a number of issues during the day, so you have a schedule in mind, and you're ready to go. And as you enter your office, as you enter the building and you go into your office, you're thinking about these things. And what do you find? You find a group of people ready to talk to you before you even sit down. And so there's an employee, a government auditor, a risk manager, the CFO of the organization, an investor, and your CEO waiting to talk to you. And so the employee comes first. He says, why should I work for your organization? I have a friend that's interested in coming to work for the organization, but I don't know if I should recommend them. What can you tell me? So that sort of sets the stage, and you're thinking, well, okay, I need to develop these things. Does that develop? Do I need any HR metrics for that? Well, you might. You might need to develop some facts and figures around the benefits from working at your organization. So that sort of sets the stage. So he leaves, and next in line is the government auditor. And she says, I'm here. My organization, the government wants to investigate and do an audit on your organization. And so how do you know if you're complying with the law? Different issue for you to address. So on the one hand, you're talking about how to keep employees and what's looking for from employees' perspective. Now you're looking at from a government perspective, what do they consider important? And again, HR metrics are going to play an important role in your response to the government auditor. So now you're thinking about, okay, what data do I need to develop? How many claims have we had? Let me look at that. The government auditor leaves, and the risk manager follows. And he says, look, similar to what the government auditor asked, but I'm looking from a much broader perspective. From a risk management standpoint, what is the organization's exposure to human capital risk? Well, of course, some of the risks are from a compliance standpoint, but human capital has broader risks that you'll have to comply with, and broader issues you'll have to address. So it's like, all right, let me think about that, and I'll get back to you. The risk manager leaves, and the CFO knocks on the door. And he's standing there, and he says, hey, look, I'm working on the annual report. I'm doing the budget, and how much should we budget for human resources for the coming year? What are the key elements in the budget that we're going to have to address? So again, and you stop what you're doing, and you're thinking,